You're now tuning into
The Cover Gang.
What is going on, Cover Gang? NFL Week 18. Justin, can you believe it is already almost over?
It's crazy, man. Right here at the end.
I
I'm
mean,
excited.
18 weeks has flown by. That's over a third of the year. It's just crazy. It just feels like yesterday we were making our playoff predictions, and here's the last week to bet the regular season. Weird week to bet. A lot of people not playing starters, some starters playing, some not. Every single game's a divisional game. Obviously, I think there's 6 or 7 of the 16 games have playoff implications. So it's definitely a weird one, but we're both coming off a losing week. I went 7-9. Justin done worse than me. We don't have to say what he went, but so we'll dial it in on this last one, and this is a pretty cool episode because this be the first time that we have boots on the ground at the game. The Cover Gang has boots on the ground at the Miami Dolphins home game, hosting the Buffalo Bills. The last game we'll go over, so we'll see where we give our prediction on that one. But I will be attending that game.
Yeah, that's only your boots. I feel left out. Where's my invite down in Miami, Florida, 8:20 at night? You know that's gonna be lit. That's gonna be an awesome game to go through. Best game of the week on the slate, so that's gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah, when I bought the tickets, I was not expecting it to be the most important game of the week. Well, I kind of was. I kind of thought that Bills would beat Patriots, and then that the Ravens would beat the Dolphins. So I thought this game could mean the AFC East, and it ended up happening. But we'll go over that one last. Justin Hill read the first game on the slate, and we will give our takes, tell you how much we're putting on each game, and see if we agree.
All right, first up, we got the Steelers at the Ravens, and the Steelers are laying 4 points because it's one of those weird ones of the week where a lot of the starters of the Ravens are going to be sitting out. I don't know what to do with this one because it's like, it seems obvious, even with the Ravens backups in, I think most people would be like, yeah, that's still too much points to be given the Steelers on the road, so let's just take the Ravens here. So I guess I'm going to play devil's advocate, play the 25% side, and just take the Steelers -4 on the road. Road favorites have done well this year. It seems like a dumb bet, and that's probably why it's going to hit. So I'll just take...
For you, I think you can get 3.5 on a couple books out there. So I'll give you that one.
Well, thank you. Okay, I'll take 3.5 Steelers on the road. Don't really like it, half unit game, because it just, I mean, we really don't know what's going to happen in this one.
Yeah, it is square even with the backups playing to take Baltimore at home, but it's just these two teams still always play each other close. It's still John Harbaugh coaching against Mike Tomlin. Huntley, he got the Ravens to the playoffs last year while Lamar was out, so he'll be playing throughout the game.
I just now remember this is the stat that I brought up earlier in the year that these two teams have finished within 3 or 4 points in their last 10 matchups too. Oh, now I feel bad taking the Steelers.
Well, I'm taking the chalk side. I'm taking Baltimore at home +4 regular unit play because it is the public side. I know Pittsburgh's offense has started to click ever since Rudolph has came in, but we both know the more games you play coming out of nowhere, more tape that you have. And Baltimore's defense, even though they're going to be resting a couple starters on that side of the ball as well, I think the defensive coordinator and the scheme that he's been calling this year, they're pretty deep at linebacker, pretty deep at corner. So their a few defensive backs are banged up, so they'll just sit them until the second round of the playoffs. But
I think I'm gonna switch and take the Ravens, bro. I can't fight that trend because I brought it up earlier in the year and it just doesn't make sense. Why would I take the Steelers? If this matchup, no matter what the circumstances have been, it always ends within 3 or 4 points. I guess I'll just take the Ravens then, even though it's the public side. But hey, the public has done well this year. But yeah, sorry to.
All right, so I convinced Justin on the first game. We're off to a good start. Ravens +4 at home. I'm taking a regular unit. You still doing a half?
Honestly, that trend is so strong, even with the weird circumstances and the public being on it. I'll just take a regular unit on the Ravens because it does seem like it doesn't matter that most people are going to bet the Ravens. It seems like they can keep it within a field goal. I agree with it. We'll take it. Whatever. Right. You win this one. All right, next up, we got the Texans at the Colts. So the line started with the Texans as +1 underdogs on the road, and now it's moved to Colts +1, +1.5 on most books. I like the Colts in this one. I think they've had the better coaching. I think the Texans are one of the most publicly loved teams that we've seen all year. And I get it because, I mean, they're rookies. They're turnaround from last year, easily the most improved team. But that's why I think I'm just going to back Frank Reich and this Colts team that they have just been killing it in close one-score games. They're a lot better at home. I think C.J. Stroud gets a little bit of humble pie in this one, and I like the Colts at a double unit because this is one of my more favorite plays of the week.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said, and I'm right there with you. Colts +1.5. I'm taking a double unit as well. Like we've been saying the past few weeks, Colts are way better at home. Texans are not as good over the year as being. They covered last week as a favorite against the Titans at home, but I told you the Titans are just a bad road team. And yeah, it's Shane Steichen. I get an offensive-minded coach versus D'Amico Ryan, a defensive-minded coach. C.J. Stroud seemed like he really didn't miss a beat coming back against that Titans defense, but like I said, it was just perfect. It was a perfect game for him to come back on. This one, I would assume the public's coming in on the Texans, probably pros and Joes, where the line has moved from Colts being favored by a point. Now they're 1.5 point underdog at home. Yeah, give it to me. Double unit. Let's ride with Minshew and Shane Steichen one more time to lock up a playoffs. This is whoever wins this game makes the playoffs.
Yeah, and I said Frank Reich. I meant Shane Steichen. I apologize. I just put some disrespect on his name with that.
Frank Reich is jobless.
Yeah, and like you said. How much of the bets you think coming in on the Texans? 71% per DraftKings data. So,
right.
All right, we got next up the Jaguars at the Titans. This is like one of those games where I'm playing most of the sides where a team can spoil the other team's playoff hopes because it's football and these guys are super competitive. And I just think when a team, especially going against a division rival, has a chance to keep someone out of the playoffs, I love that spot. I like the Titans +5.5. I know the quarterback situation is definitely rocky. There's a lot of uncertainty about Derrick Henry's future and Mike Vrabel, but I love this from a betting perspective. The Jags have not been what they're supposed to be this year. They were supposed to own that division. I think everyone kind of predicted that. And I think I could even see Titans winning this one outright, just completely. So I love the spread from that perspective, so I'm going to have to put a double unit on this one as well. Titans +5.5. It looks gross, but I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I'm with you here as well. I'm putting 1.5 units on it. I'm not quite to a double unit because the Jaguars have played better on the road. Titans and Vrabel's on the hot seat. I don't know if that locker room's giving up on him. And then you also pair that with Will Levis got hurt again last game, so it'll probably be Tannehill again. Jags could get right here. Make or break time. Trevor Lawrence he's going to be playing, but yeah, I'll put 1.5 units on the Titans +5.5. I could see Jags still winning the game, but it coming down to Trevor Lawrence having to show what Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be from the beginning of the season, that he's only shown spurts this year, and he may have to make a game-winning drive or a few game-winning plays down the stretch to win this one. But I see Jags winning the game, but Titans +5.5, I like it a lot. So 1.5 units on that one.
I think it's pretty fair to say that the Jaguars have been the most disappointing team of the year, whereas the Colts and the Texans have been the most surprisingly better than everyone expected teams. That division has been really weird. I feel like ever since the Jaguars in the playoffs last year, it was a lot of hype coming into this year, and I don't know. I could see them losing right here, like by like a point or two, just losing.
Well, we thought NFC South and AFC South would both be the worst divisions in football, and it's just not been that way. We're here going into the last weekend, there's 3 AFC South teams viable for the playoffs. So
Colts,
all
big
with
surprise.
over 500 records. Yeah. So
Yeah, and if the Colts made it there, I definitely thought it was A-Rich carrying the load, not Gardner Minshew. So it's just weird. But yeah. All right, we're on it though. We're on the +5.5. Next up, we got the Vikings at the Lions. This line is juiced. I mean, it is -3, almost near -120 odds right now. And talk about public side, it's 87% of the bets coming in on the Lions in this one, but I think it's the right side. I know normally we would take the Vikings in this spot, but this team, they really have not played well in the past few weeks, and I think the book is out on them. They had a really good covering run. They even had a good money line underdog upset kind of run earlier in the year, and they were hot. Ever since then, they've just fizzled out so hard, and I know that the Lions, they've clinched the division, but I just don't see them laying down to their division rival right here, and I think they still come out to play, and I like Lions -3, but it's not a huge bet. I just would take it at a regular unit.
yeah, I'm gonna be against you on this one. I'm gonna take the hook +3.5. Take Minnesota. Minnesota messed up last week. I don't know why they went with Hall over Mullins or even Dobbs. I mean, Dobbs was sitting there talking on the sideline to the quarterbacks and stuff. It just Hall was not ready for that spot against Green Bay, and that's why I double unit Green Bay last week. But no, I think the Vikings. I could see them keeping it close. You're giving me the hook. They still have a great, plethora of offensive weapons, and yeah, Detroit. The only thing they're hoping for is somehow Washington upsets the Cowboys, and it's like a 13-point spread. So other than that, they don't really have anything to play for. So I'm gonna fade the public here. Take Minnesota +3.5 because Nick Mullins is getting the start, and he could throw 5 interceptions, but he could also throw 5 touchdowns. He just slings it. But Justin Jefferson against the secondary and company with Osborne and Addison, I could see some big plays being made, and them looking better than the first time they played them because Nick Mullins threw 4 interceptions in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I don't love that game from a betting perspective. I think the line is just, it's not real much. There's not much value on either side, and I guess the Vikings technically would be a little more value definitely for the spread, so don't like it though. All right, next up, we got the Browns at the Bengals. This game and this line is horrible. It's one of the worst to bet of the week because I don't know. I just can't get a read on it. It's a half unit for me. I mean, Browns on the road, they're not that good. That's a huge number. They say they're resting all their starters. I mean, I'm undecided. Can you make a case right here for why I should choose either of these teams? Like, I don't feel great about it.
Well, Browns over the past few years have had Cincinnati's number. Browns are getting 7 points on the road. Browning, he looked good against Kansas City last week until the fourth quarter. They'll have their normal weapons with I think Higgins, Jamar, Mixon. Everybody will try to win this last game. And Browns, they're locked into the 5 seed no matter what. That's why they're sitting so many starters. But 7 points is that's so much, and I would assume it's probably a public dog, but I'm with you. It's kind of like I don't really understand the line too much. I would think maybe Cincinnati favored by 4.5 at most here. So I'll put a half unit on Cleveland and the points, but it's not one of my favorite plays of the week.
How much of a public dog do you think they are?
I mean, I don't know because they're sitting starters, so it's so weird, But even the backup quarterback, who they're going to start, probably DTR.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, Cincinnati's defense, the pass rush got home against Mahomes and a struggling offense some last week. But other than that, the few weeks before that, like they've been giving up a lot of points. So I don't know. I mean, I think the Browns will still try to just run the ball. And
what if I told you 76% are on the Browns right now on DK? I mean, I'm surprised.
That's kind of what I would think. Yeah.
I took the Ravens on the other game. I think I'm going to take the Bengals. I got to pick my spots. I think you're ahead of me like 4 or 5 games. This is just a swing game to see who can get a better record this year. I'm going to take Bengals -7. I'm not going to beat you because we're probably not going to disagree on enough games for it to matter, but I gotta get as close as I can to a good win percentage. I'm gonna take Bengals just to see what we can do here.
All right.
I don't like it though, because I mean this game is horrible. It's a half unit. Bengals -7. That's a huge number.
I might just do what you done against the Ravens, and all of a sudden flop and be like, all right, I'm on Bengals too.
Take Bengals with me. I don't care.
I'm
Nah.
gonna take Browns and the points. I just think
Well,
it's too much.
I forgot about that trend with the Ravens Steelers. Like every time it's within 3 to 4 points, you just take the dog. It don't matter, and they always.
Well, the
cover.
trend of the past 2 or 3 years is just take the Browns and whatever against the Bengals because they've owned them.
On the road.
Zach Taylor's offense cannot function against Jim Schwartz's defense for some reason, and
It's fishy.
the Browns are pretty.
At this point, I'm on every home team. I just now noticed that too. Something's not right. I'm gonna be wrong. All right, next up we got the Bucks at the Panthers.
Home team.
Yeah, I know. I kind of want to go the home team on this one as well. I mean,
This is a double unit play for me. I'm
Really?
I'm taking Panthers plus 5.5 at double unit play.
Wow. Boom.
Yeah, just a classic Tampa. Even though they played bad against the Saints last week, going into Carolina's they are better at home, and Carolina's just trying to play upset. So I think they keep it close. I still think Tampa has a chance to win the game by 3 or 4 points, but at 5.5, I think Carolina just stays in it, tries to ride off on the sunset. They're getting the number 1 pick. Well, they got to give it to Chicago, but they're going to have the worst record in the NFL, win or lose this game. Just Bryce Young tries to say, "Hey, I'm the number 1 pick for a reason," kinda somehow.
Yeah, I kind of agree with it. I
It's
like
just too many points. Just too many points. 5.5. Yeah, I just think they play spoiler here a little bit. I could see it the upset, but I'm gonna put a double unit on Carolina here.
I'm gonna go regular unit, but I do like the theory and the thought behind it, and I'm gonna go Carolina plus 5.5. It is too many points. Now, if it was down at 3, no way. But I like it. Yeah, I like the reasoning. I do think Bryce Young tries to show why he was drafted first in this game. I agree with that. So, yeah, I like it. Carolina plus 5.5, pretty good value.
Yeah, them having an open vacancy at the head coach position. You know, Bryce Young goes out there and upsets Tampa, keeps them out of the playoffs, and then I mean, because at this point, it's something I've been wanting to talk about too a little bit is, you have to Eric Bieniemy's never been offered a head coaching position. And they may fire Ron Rivera and move him up from OC to head coach. But, it's those types of coaches is the only ones that's going to take a position at Carolina. I mean, you fired Matt Rule, and then you fired Frank Reich after 1 year. David Tepper's the owner's up there throwing drinks at Jaguars fans. It's just, it's a horrible coaching position to take. Yeah. And it's just and it starts with the owner. I mean, acting like a child like that. He got fined like $300,000 for throwing that drink or whatever. But so it's going to be like just one of these coaches just begging for a head coaching job, like a Eric Bieniemy that's never had one, that'll take it and just try to pull the most they can out of Bryce Young. But after watching Bryce Young all year and then watching how that owner is and then the turnover rate with coaches, if Jim Harbaugh was to come to the NFL, Belichick's definitely not going to Carolina if he gets let go. All your top candidates, the top Jim Schwartz, I could see him getting an offer this year. Cleveland's DC, just all your top candidates out there will not pick Carolina. They'll pass.
Yeah. I don't blame them. It's a bad team, bad organization. I've been to a Carolina game. I watched Denver play them with, it was Peyton Manning and Von Miller back then and Wes Welker and all them. Yeah, it's a boring stadium, boring fans, boring culture. I had the sun in my eyes. We were in the nosebleeds, but I had the sun in my I felt like I was at a high school football game. I was like, this place sucks. No one's hyper either. This is the worst football team ever.
Well, David Tepper is absolutely filthy rich. He's one of the richest owners in the NFL. So he just wants results immediately. But no, they look atrocious right now.
Yeah, what a mistake taking Bryce Young over CJ
But
Stroud.
we're taking them here with the spread.
Yeah. With all that being said, it is the play. Like, that's exactly why. They've been hard to pick this year. We've backed them, and we faded them near the mid to later season. But, yeah, we're taking them right here, plus 5.5. All right, we got the Jets at the Patriots. Now, we talked about this as a teaser like a week or so ago. We said I could see Bill Belichick having one last hoorah, and, like, who better to do it against than his old punching bag in the Jets. I mean, this line is at 1.5. It's on. I mean, the public is on the Patriots, and the line has moved down on the Jets side. So, like, that's like reverse line movement against us. But we said we were going to take the Patriots. Are we?
Yeah.
We sticking to
No,
our guns?
Yeah. Bill Belichick's last hurrah. He owns the Jets. Patriots win this game, I think, easily, and I'm only giving up a 1.5. It's the double unit play. Take Patriots.
I'm
No
gonna take.
doubt.
I'm gonna take regular unit. Definitely the Patriots, though. I do like that. I like the theory behind it. We said we were gonna do it, so I'm gonna stick to it. But yeah, that line movement is strange.
Don't care. It was like the public side
The
when
line
they
movement
played the
hasn't
first time.
mattered this
this year.
much either this year. So just for what
New
it's
England
worth.
was like a slight favorite in New York earlier this year, and they beat them, I think, 15-10 and covered. It's just they own the Jets.
Yeah, I like it. I didn't like this week coming into it, but now, I mean, some of these games, I feel like we're.
Well, all these divisional trends, you're just like, oh yeah, I remember that New England owns the Jets. You're like, oh yeah,
But it's
Baltimore
just-
and Steelers is
it's-
usually close.
It's weird implications though, because it's like some of these games really don't matter. It's just a weird week. But hey, I'm whatever. It's still football.
I mean,
They're
Jets
gonna
have been
come
playing
out
for the past 4 weeks, and their games haven't mattered. They've been out of the playoff mix and Patriots too.
right.
Their games haven't mattered for.
Yeah, it's still
if anything,
football.
Patriots probably want to lose to get a better draft pick.
Right.
But Bill Belichick's not going to be there, so he's fine with that.
Yeah, I agree with it. I mean, it makes sense. Let me see. Make sure I don't skip over a game. I think I did that last week. Yep. All right. We got the Falcons on the road at the Saints. Saints are laying 3 at home. I mean, it's saying the books are saying they're pretty much dead even. I hate myself for taking the Falcons last week.
Do it again.
Yeah, no, I'm going to take the Saints. I said that the Saints would start reverting to the mean as far as covering, and they have somewhat. I think they only didn't cover one game since I said that like 4 or 5 weeks ago. So, yeah, I don't know. I really hate this Falcons team. They struggle to put up points. I don't really love this bet, though. It's not the sharp side probably, but, yeah, I'll take the Saints -3 just to stick with what I was saying about them, and, yeah. What's your take? I assume you're on the Falcons.
Yeah, double unit play, Atlanta
Oh
plus
my.
3.
Double unit with the Dirty Birds. No way.
Arthur Smith still fighting for his job. Falcons have struggled on the road this year, but they're going from a dome to a dome.
Mightily. They've struggled on the road mightily.
Saints, by far, the public side. It's just classic pros versus Joes game. Everybody thinks New Orleans, they're hoping for a Tampa slip up, but New Orleans, I think if Green Bay was to lose to the Bears, then New Orleans could get the last wild card spot, or they may need Green Bay. I can't remember the scenario. They may need Seattle to lose as well. It's something like that. But anyways, yeah, no doubt. Taking Falcons +3. Everybody's jumped ship on them. Everybody's liking New Orleans right now because they just blew out Tampa. The line's set at 3 and hasn't moved all week.
Man, that was a
Public flooding in on the Saints. I'm happy to take your money.
That was a
+3
juicy
Falcons.
lock though last week with the Saints. That's why everybody likes it, huh? Yeah, that was clean. We both liked that play a lot last week, and
Yeah, we both double unit, and I told you Bears would beat Atlanta. Atlanta having to go play outside, but this is dome to dome, divisional game. Blah blah blah.
you heard it from the man, dome to dome. Make your
Yeah.
decision based off that. I'm taking Saints. He's on the Falcons. I don't like it a lot. He's double unit. I'm regular unit. Whatever. Next
Whatever.
game, we got the Cowboys visiting the Commanders. Almost said Redskins. Man, the Commanders, God, they're awful. That team is god awful. We're talking about Commanders. They might be the
They've
worst
lost-
organization.
They've lost 7 straight, And since they started off 3-0. Since week 3 going into week 4, they have a worse record than Carolina.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, they might be a worse organization than the Panthers, and it's weird. They're both geographically in the same little region. Like, it's just bad football area. I don't know.
Yeah, from where we grew up, that's the two closest places to go watch a game.
Yeah, and that's why we pull for teams that are from around here, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, man. I guess I'd take Washington because they just like to just randomly play the Cowboys hard. They really have not covered, and there's no reason I should logically take them here other than they always have the Cowboys number and play them close. I know they didn't in that one game, but they kept it close through the third quarter, and that game got blown wide open, in the fourth quarter. It really was a close game the whole time. There's no reason that Washington should care to cover or want to, but they're going to in this game. I just feel it.
Yeah, I'm taking Washington plus 13 as well. It's a regular unit play. This exact situation happened last year. A little bit different. Cowboys lose this game. Philadelphia wins against the Giants. Then Philly wins the East. Last year, Cowboys win or lose. They got the 5 seed. Philly had already locked up they actually locked up the number 1 seed, but they locked up the division last year. But last year, Cowboys played in Washington, and Washington won 26-6. And I know it's a different Washington team. Like I said, they've been atrocious all year, but the Cowboys have just been not a good road team. They may right the ship here and blow Washington out, but I still don't think that it would really impress people. Wouldn't give people confidence thinking, okay, if Dallas was to make it to the NFC Championship, it'd have to go to San Francisco. Everybody would be on San Fran. So I'm gonna take the points until Dallas proves me something wrong, something different on the road. So I'll take plus 13 here, just regular unit though.
Yeah, I like it a regular unit too. Are you suggesting that we take the M money line?
Money line? No, not on this one.
Not a repeat from last year.
I could see the Jacksonville Titans one. Bucks Panthers. That's some pretty juicy money lines there. Even Pittsburgh favored by 3.5, 4 points against Baltimore.
Yeah.
I could see that money line hitting on the point side.
I agree with that. I like Ravens money line this week. I like Titans money line. I think it's just value. I just think they can just upset them for no reason. All right. Next up, we got the Chiefs at the Chargers. Patrick Mahomes is not going to be playing in this one. Travis Kelce most likely not playing. It doesn't matter. That offense has not done anything. It's all been about Spagnuolo and the defense. This game is the Chargers are literally backups themselves with their roster right now. So I think I have to take Spag to keep it close. Chiefs plus 3.5. I'm sure it's the public side by a mile, but why?
You can get 4.
Wow. Yeah, I'll take Chiefs plus 4, no doubt. I don't see how, even with Patrick Mahomes resting, the Chiefs laying down, I just can't take the Chargers.
Where's the public coming in on that one?
Oh, I'm sure huge on the Chiefs. I'm going to guess 70%, but let's see right here.
I guess 85.
Holy crap. Per DraftKings, 85%. Right on the dot. Yeah.
Half unit, give me the Chargers.
Nah, you're crazy, bro. The public has done good this year.
I know.
It's going to hit.
Andy Reid versus an interim coach. Chiefs getting 4 points. Mahomes not playing. There's going to be some people on the defensive side not playing either. I don't know. Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen.
Comes down to the scheme. Ain't nobody scoring on that Chiefs team, man. Nah. I don't hate it. It's a dumb.
They're telling you to take Chargers, and I don't know why either. It's a half unit play. It's nasty. It's gross, but I'll have money on Chargers and at 3.5 or whatever it is. I'll have money on it. I can't give you many football reasons on why, but I will.
Yeah, fair enough. Chiefs plus 3.5, regular unit for me though. I don't know. I just can't take the Chargers as favorites here. I
keep trying to tell you can get Chiefs plus 4.
Chiefs plus 4.
Take your 4.
Wait, is 4 better than 3? Wait, yeah. Right.
Yeah, because you're getting the plus side. Gosh, no wonder you're doing worse than me this year gambling. You don't even know.
How am I only 2 or 3 games back? This is crazy.
It's been a weird year, bad year.
It's been
We're still over 50% though. Sorry.
it's been great. All right, next up we got the Broncos at the Raiders, and
Yeah.
2.5, laying 2.5. Well, they're getting 3 on some books now. Look out. Yeah, this is a half unit game. I have no idea what to do here. So if you got any pointers, if you could lead me in the right direction.
It's the same half unit game. This may be one of the games of the week I do not touch. But I would, if I had to give a suggestion, I would say take Vegas -2.5 at home. They just coming off a bat, like they were playing good, defense playing good. They went to Indianapolis. Indianapolis just puts up points. I think Broncos, they beat the Chargers with Stidham and stuff. They'll watch tape.
Stidham and stuff.
Yeah, and what's his name? It's not Antonio Pierce, is it? Or is it Anthony Pierce? Whatever the interim coach's name for the Raiders is, he's still hoping to somehow get that job, full-time head coach going into next year. So I'm going to take Raiders -2.5.
It's odd that the public is taking the Raiders so much. Like, I would have thought more would take the Broncos here, but I don't know. Yeah, sure. We'll just...
You want to disagree and try to catch me?
Yeah, I guess I'll take the Broncos +3. But it's a half unit game. Like, none of
Justin's
these...
got a 5-11 week comeback up.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I was doing good. If you take week 17 and 18, I can already hear it. I would have went 57% on but instead I'm at 52.
I was trying in week 17. I'm trying this week. I'm gonna kill it for no reason. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Broncos +3. Doesn't really make sense. Half unit game though. Like, no way nobody knows what's going on with this game.
Yeah, same for me, but I'll take Raiders -2.5.
All right. And next up, we got the Bears at the Packers +3 on the road. Jordan Love's been balling out. So is Justin Fields. This Bears defense, ever since the Sweat acquisition, has been really pretty good. Maybe like number 10 defense or something like that. It's like they've caused a lot of turnovers recently. They're keeping a lot of teams under 20 points. I feel like the public is going to like the Bears in this one, even after what the Packers just did. I think we take the Packers -3. They own the Bears. I like this game at a regular unit. What say you?
Same thing. I like Packers -3 at home. They played Bears first game of the year, crushed them. But Justin Fields and this defense have both came a long way. Justin Fields, like I said, where he's a double threat. Look, he's not playing quite as good as his stats are not as good as he's been playing. He's been running the ball some. Still over this 4-game winning streak. Like I said, completing less than 60% of his passes. I think his passer rating in these games has still been under 90, so it's not like he's playing like a Mahomes on a heater or Josh Allen on a heater or something. So I like Jordan Love and Packers. It's a make or break. I don't think Bears play spoiler here. I'm going to fade the public dog. And same thing, regular unit on Green Bay. And hopefully the defense plays like they did against Minnesota rather than they did the previous 2 weeks. And Packers make a playoff spot.
This is the only one that I didn't play spoiler on, but it's just a trend. It's one I let the trends outweigh the spoiler alert in this one. So, yeah, we're on it. Packers -3. Regular unit. Next up, we got the Eagles, who have looked horrible visiting the Giants. They're laying 5 points on the road. I guess I got to take the Eagles here. I mean, it's just a get right spot. I mean, the world has shifted so much now in the past year for the Eagles to not be laying more than 10 points against the Giants. That's who they usually just blow out, and Vegas has to put -13 on the board every time they play them. But yeah, we got a -5 here. It's just they have to get right. I don't think anyone right now would be scared to be matched up against them in the playoffs. They look vulnerable, and they got something to prove in this game. So I guess I'm going to take Eagles to bounce back, -5. I like it at a regular unit because this team just, they shouldn't be road favorites as versus many teams right now. They're not that great looking, man.
So you said you're taking Eagles -5 though.
Yeah.
Sirianni came out. He was asked if he's benching any starters, and he said it's into consideration. So they haven't came out and said whether or not Jalen's playing and all this stuff, but they're going to be. It's at the same time. Both games are at 4:25 with Dallas and Washington on Sunday, and all of a sudden Washington's up like 10-0, 7-0 even, and it's like, what are they going to do? All of a sudden be like, okay, we're activating Jalen Hurts, get in there, come on. Like you got to play and hope that somehow you win the division on Washington upsetting the Cowboys. It's just is what it is. I'll take Eagles -5 too. I think it's all smoke and mirrors saying that they're not playing Jalen and the starters. Because like I said, they could win the division and get a home playoff game to start off with this. So yeah, I don't love it though. I'll put a regular unit on it, but it's a game I'm definitely going to bet. But unless it does come out and Sirianni says, "Hey, we're resting Jalen and we're just going to try to refresh and show what we were last year in the playoffs," I don't know if that actually would happen. But like I said, in my opinion, I think the starters will play. So I'll give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I feel it. All right, next up, we got the Seahawks at the Cardinals. They're laying 2.5 on the road. Cardinals upset the Eagles. Seahawks looked really bad. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna take Seattle.
You're taking Seattle?
-2.5.
I just feel like
Cardinals coming off a good win against the Eagles. A lot of people didn't see that coming. They won 35-31. Kyler's playing good ball at home. I understand the line, it being at 2.5, but like I said, just backs against the wall, and I don't think Cardinals spoil it. I think that I would assume that they may even be a home. They may be a public dog in this one at 2.5. So give me Seattle, Geno, the better team, offense and defensive side of the ball, to keep their playoff hopes alive and cover the 2.5 regular unit.
Yeah, if it weren't for last week's upset, I would love this play more because it would feel super sharp to be on the Cardinals here. But it's like 43% on the Cardinals, so it's still not the public side on most, average sports books. But I don't know. I get the points for taking Seahawks. They've been better on the road. It's under a field goal, and Cardinals just wowed everybody last week. So
and Seattle looked bad against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I get the points, like playing the bounce back, like the flip, but yeah, I'm gonna take the Cardinals +2.5 just to be different. Honestly, I think it's the sharp side. I do. Like, I think that Kyler, as much as I hate on him and discredit him for being any good at football, he is really good at football, and I don't know. I think
he's really good at Call of Duty too. It's okay.
Yeah, he's a good streamer. I mean, yeah, I think he has a good Call of Duty night before this one, and then they cover the spread somehow. So, Cardinals +2.5 regular unit. That's what I'm feeling. Yeah. Next up, we got the Rams at the 49ers. We already know that we're not going to disagree on this one. The 49ers own the Rams. It's like rock, paper, scissors in that division. It always has been. Past few years.
Kyle Shanahan has came out and said that the starters are playing in this one, offense and defensive side of the ball, except for, even though they've already locked up the 1 seed, except for McCaffrey because he got a little banged up, so they're going to give him 2 weeks of rest. But your Brock Purdy, the whole defense will be out there. He says they're starting. I mean, maybe it's some type of smoke and mirrors too, and because they have no reason to start them, and then they end up pulling like a Bosa or Warner or something throughout the game, but. Even still, it's just McVay's Achilles heel is playing against Kyle Shanahan, and 49ers are pretty deep on the defensive front, defensive middle of the field as well. And it's not like this Rams defense is great against the run, and I think that's what they'll try to establish. They'll just make it to where Brock doesn't have to be in harm's way too much against Aaron Donald, and they win this game. I think you can get it at 3.5, and it's just a regular unit, but I'll take 49ers -3.5.
Yeah, I like this one pretty good. I'll take the 49ers at 1.5 units. I just think it's not a good spot for the Rams, and They really have underperformed as dogs. It's like you take them as favorites, and when they're dogs, they really just get blown out. And I feel like the 49ers just have their number. CMC not playing is really not that huge of a deal. I mean, they got Elijah Mitchell and that other guy that, I mean, this offense, you get behind those linemen, I mean, it's just about any running back could probably succeed in this offense. So, I mean, I'm not really worried about it. I think it's definitely the sharper side to be on, so.
Well, first quarter, Trent Williams or George Kittle or Debo goes out there and just like rolls an ankle a little bit, and gets up. This Kyle Shanahan be like, oh, never mind. Everybody come back, like.
Yeah, he's like, whoa.
Second practice squad, go out there.
He sees his like Super Bowl ring chances evaporate in his brain. He's like,
which the Rams, they're in the playoffs no matter what as well. But if they lose this one, and I think if either Packers or Seattle win, then they will get the 6th spot, and then Rams jump back to the 7th spot, and they would have to go to Dallas instead of to Detroit. So they're playing for that too.
Yeah, oddly enough too, I can't believe it, but 50% are on the Rams.
They've been playing good as of late.
I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. That makes me feel better about taking the 49ers in this spot. But, yeah, 1.5 for me. I think we only got one more. We only got one more to go over.
What game is that?
The game of the week. It's the Bills on the road laying a field goal versus the Miami Dolphins. It is the best game of the week. It has a lot of implications. Tyler is going to be in the house for this one. I'm throwing it down big for this one. This is a double unit play for me. I like the Dolphins to play spoiler. It's a hedge a little bit because I had the Bills making it to the Super Bowl. That's been a roller coaster thinking if they're going to make it or not. And you never know. You still don't know. I like the Dolphins to play spoiler right here. And if they can do anything in this game, they can keep the Bills out of the playoffs potentially. And I think when you tell a bunch of football players that they can spoil some other players' dreams, they're going to just eat that up. And I think this game comes down to the wire. Even if they lose, I like the cover. I like the spread. I think the value is in the number on the Dolphins. It just seems too obvious to bet the Bills as favorites right here. I think that's what everybody, is going to do. So I like Dolphins +3 pretty good right here. Double unit. I got a good feeling about it. I think they could upset outright and just crush their dreams and my futures bet. So hope they don't, but.
Well, Bills still have an avenue to make the playoffs and they'll know by game time if they're playing for a playoff spot at all, or if they're just playing for the 2nd seed, or there's a way that they can get the 6th seed and there's a way they can get the 7th seed based on if Jacksonville or Pittsburgh loses. Yeah, I like Dolphins +3 here as well. Regular unit play. Bradley Chubb getting hurt. I guess him and what's that guy's the linebacker's name, Van Winkle or whatever. They both been playing pretty well this year, so to only have to focus on one instead of two, I think that'll help Josh Allen in this run game out a lot. I could see Bills winning the game and then still Dolphins covering, or it even coming down to a push. That's why I have it at a regular unit. Still no word on Tua as of yet. I think he may be a limited participant in practice. But it's for the division, so I expect him to play as well as the safety Xavier Howard. I think he's going to be playing as well. And Miami's played good all year at home, so I see it. I feel like it's the sharp side to take Dolphins +3. I think it's going to be a close game, and Bills, they never get blown out, but they seem to lose these close games, so I could see that happening. I just, from a fan perspective, it'd be a lot better AFC playoff race if the Bills are at least a wild card team. So if it comes down to them needing to win this game to get in, I hope I'm wrong on this +3.
Throw a double unit on it for your mom. Hey, your mom's gonna be in the building. She's a Dolphins fan. She's been flaming us in the comment section every time that we pick against the Dolphins. This time, we're both on it. She's on that team, of course. So, double unit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put a regular unit Dolphins +3. But I hope that no matter what Sunday night, it's just that is the fight for who wins, who gets the 2nd seed. because no matter Dolphins or Bills win that game, they get the second seed. I just really hope that Dolphins lose, they're the automatic 6th seed. Bills lose, and Jaguars and Pittsburgh early in the day both win. Bills miss the playoffs entirely. So that's worse. I just don't want to watch the AFC playoffs without the Bills in it, because that was my AFC prediction. I had Bills in Baltimore in the AFC Championship, and Bills edging them out. So that would I don't have any future bets on it like you do, but it's just a lot more entertaining to have Josh Allen in the playoffs.
I agree. I mean, but if anyone deserves to not make it, is them, because they're just. It's hard.
Hey, but they were 6-6, and after the bye week, they've reeled off 4 straight. They barely beat Chargers, barely beat Patriots. Dolphins just got crushed by the Ravens, but then they beat Dallas 2 weeks ago at home. Dolphins just more banged up, and Bills are due for. They ride that roller coaster, and they've been barely winning here lately. They're due kind of for a comeback game.
Just know this: if they don't win or cover in this, it's because of self-inflicted wounds to themselves, because that's what they do best. They just shoot themselves in the foot. That's if they don't cover, it's their own fault. They gave it to the Dolphins, because I mean they almost gave it to the
We're
Chargers.
going all the way down there. I'm just hoping for a good close game. I hope that it's relatively high scoring. Tua and Tyreek connect a couple times. Stephon Diggs gets back into the mix. He's been MIA for the past few weeks for the Bills. And yeah, like I said, I hope that by that time I already know, and it's already set in stone, that both teams are in the playoffs, and it's just a battle for big brother in the Bills versus little brother in the Dolphins.
I'm going to say this, 28-27, Dolphins win. Bills still get in as the 6th seed because of an upset earlier in the day.
I'm going to say the same score, 28-27, Bills win, Dolphins cover +3.
I would like it, because then it'll keep my futures bet alive, and I'll hit this double unit play. I would like it.
They get the second seed. Dolphins have to go to Kansas City next week.
What a way to end Week 18. I can't believe it. We're at the end of the regular season. We're still going to cover all the playoff games. We did it last year. We did pretty well covering those games, so I'm excited to cover those games with you. So it's going to be a lot more locked in, fewer games to discuss, less meaningless games. It's going to be great. So make sure to tune in for our playoff predictions. We'll see how we did with our playoff predictions earlier in the year to how much we actually got right, how we did statistically against the spread. Did we beat the 52 point whatever juice, paying the juice? Did we have a profitable year? Let's find out. We got upcoming videos. So thanks for tuning in. As always, let's cover the spread. Peace.
Peace.